Hello everyone. I pulled out some junk journals. I've been making junk journals for quite some time, and I've noticed that my style has changed a little bit. I do things a little bit differently. I got caught up in looking at some of these books, and um, I just thought that I would pull out some of my older ones and show you. I had so much fun looking at some of these pages. Um, it's been a lot of fun. And so I just thought I'd take you along on this little journey. I was looking for some other stuff and came across a bunch of junk journal supplies that I had. And that got me to thinking about junk journals. Now let me get some of these around. And I started looking at some of the earlier ones, and I just thought I'd share because I was having way too much fun. And so I thought I'd just go through some of these and describe some of them. I've got a huge pile of junk journal supplies, and so it just got me to thinking. So these two are some of the earlier ones that I did, and they are, I don't know, I don't think I called them junk journals at the time. They were more of a pocketbook. I was doing a gift for my granddaughter, and she was turning 10, and I wanted to add some family pictures, copies, so that she would have those and maybe be interested in the family history and stuff. And I got caught up in finding things to put in pockets for her, and had so much fun that I ended up making more of them. And I think I sold a couple of them. And I have these two left that I couldn't get rid of, I suppose. And I was trying to, here's another family photo, great-grandmother, great-great-grandmother. I was trying to come up with the different ways to make pockets, or find in ways to include stuff in these books. And there's really not that many pages in these two, but it's really fat because of all the stuff that's put into them. I do remember going to the store and finding all kinds of stuff that would go into pixie dust. These pocket books. Oh, that would work, and that would work. Die cuts and stickers and tags and scrapbook paper and bags and envelopes, and I just went crazy. And so I kind of consider this the first junk journals I did, because when I started doing junk journals, I considered books with pockets a junk journal. And there's all different kinds of more family photos and Chinese fortune cookie slips. Here's a paper doll. I found it Tuesday morning. I went nuts making stuff and finding stuff to put in pockets. A round ATC with fingernail polish. I went crazy buying up all the fingernail polish I could find with these stars in it, and they stopped carrying it a long time ago. So the playing cards and the kids' games, Dollar Tree was my friend at the time, and I got all kinds of games and stuff, and paper dolls. Made the fun little paper dolls. These were so much fun to make. I would, and backtrack, I get so excited seeing these things. I was trying to figure out how to make different kinds of pockets to add all these things to. Here's a little paper doll, little paper animal, and the kitties. Can't forget the kitties. So I do remember finding envelopes, making handmade envelopes, getting games at thrift stores and tearing them up for parts. So I kind of consider this the first junk journal that I did. And then I kind of went online on YouTube and was looking at people's junk journals and what they were doing, and started doing some more different ones. So I wanted to start doing junk journals. And I think the first one that I did was, oops, I got a paper clip there. The first one I did, I bought cereal boxes to make junk journals with. I also bought candy boxes and did a lot of that stuff. And then put in junk pages and tried to add and as many envelopes and as many tuck spots and as many tip-ins as I could, and added all kinds of stuff. I was figuring out how to make handmade envelopes because I couldn't find any that were small enough for this kind of thing. So I was coming up with patterns for envelopes and figuring out how to do tip-ins and hidden spots. I don't think there are any in those, in any of those kinds of pockets in here. But hidden pockets. Here's a hidden pocket here. There's nothing in it. But I wanted to do all those fun things. Making a junk journal is kind of an art form. You're not necessarily making a journal to use. You're making a junk journal to make a junk journal. And it's a lot of fun to come up with different things to use as pages, different ways to make pockets. I like the fibers and the paper clips to add things. And I really like the small size because making the pages was easy to do. I had a lot of stuff. I didn't have to worry about making large pages. So I'm not going to go through these page by page. I do have a playlist, and there will be a link to the playlist at the end of the video so that you can go look at the flip-throughs. This one is Cocoa Krispies, and it was, I coffee dyed all the pages for this one. Let them all dry, and then I made the pages, used a lot of my rubber stamps that I hadn't used in a while. And this is about the time when I was trying to find interesting things to go in pockets, more stuff. How can I download? Where can I find things to download? And one place that I did find, and I have been using ever since, is Graphics Fairy. I've got no association with them, but it's a great place to find copyright-free images, old images that you can download. It's free, because I love free. And you can use the images in your art. They also have a paid for premium subscription also. I never use that. There's plenty in the free stuff. And they email you every week with ideas and possibilities and new stuff that they have collected. So it's kind of nice to get that in my email every Friday. Just a little thing, just so you know. And so lots of die cuts. I bought lots of die cuts and lots of stickers, I think. So if you want a full flip through of these books, please go to the playlist. The next one I did was this tiny little mini junk journal made from a coin envelope. It's been a while and it's kind of gotten sun damaged here, but it is an envelope. I opened up the ends so that there's pockets in the ends and just added some little pages. Got out my little rubber stamps. A few of these have pockets. Not very many because it's so small. But I had fun doing the little mini junk journal. There might even be a tutorial in the playlist. I think I showed how I did this. Oh, it's another hidden pockets. I loved doing this back then. Here's a pocket here, and here's a pocket here. Tim Holtz die cuts inside. How fun. I love junk journals because of the surprises. I like to hide things in them. So that is the mini micro, I don't know what I called it, coin envelope junk journal. So then I went on to use an old novel cover, and because I had so much stuff at this point, I wanted to use things up. And so more how to use up envelopes, make handmade envelopes. I really had a lot of fun doing that. And using up some of the images. I bought books. This one is Optical Illusions, and I tore it apart, and I have pages of optical illusions so that I can add them to books. Envelope, tags, and little kitties from a calendar. Oh, and here's another hidden spot. Stuff hiding in there. That's why I like junk journals. It is an adventure. It is, you never know what you're going to find, especially when you've done these so many years ago. That you can't even remember what is in them. Let's see here, another envelope with those Tim Holtz butterflies in there. Anyway, a tea bag for a pocket, die cuts inside that. Here's a fish. I love the little treasures. And I don't know if this one is in the playlist. I didn't see it, so I'll have to do a flip through of it. I will wait for the flip through. And then here's another one that I did, again, with all kinds of stuff. I think I need to do a flip through of this one as well. A hidden spot. Just love the hidden spot. That's a pocket as well. Is that a pocket? No, that's part of that pocket. How much fun is that? I won't go through the whole thing, so I'll do a flip through of it real fast and post that video as well. Oh, the surprises that will be there. Another thing that I did was I made junk journals for glue books. This was a true junk journal. I used an envelope here, and there's tip outs. There's an envelope. This was a scavenger hunt book, and I made a couple of them for gifts for my granddaughter, with stuff so that she could do a scavenger hunt and go through. There were some more pockets somewhere in here. Don't know where. Here it is. Tip out. Things with wings. So there's the pocket here. So I made the junk journal, gave her a scavenger hunt list, and a couple magazines and stuff, and then a list of things to find for each page, and they had a lot of fun. Her friend and her had a lot of fun finding stuff and gluing them into her scavenger hunt book. And so another one, is a personal junk journal. This one could be a glue book as well. It's done with all kinds of fancy pages. That's another thing that I was looking for. Things that I could make pages from. Wrapping paper and those handmade papers, if they were strong enough to make pages from. Paper bags and just anything I could find. I was keeping, there's wallpaper. I was keeping stuff to make books with, and then I would, this one's a recent one, and then I would just randomly glue images onto the pages. I will be doing some more of this here in a few months. Glue Book January comes along. So those are really junk journals too, because they're just made from junk paper that I had. Here's another one that I did. And at that point, I was doing all kinds of fibers, yarn, threads to make tassels for the spines. And this one, I know I was looking for ways to do tip-ins. And, I wanted a lot of tip-ins. So this one was all about how do I do tip-ins, pockets, not so much, well, there's a pocket here, but not so much pockets. Here's another pocket. But tip outs. Oh, and this one's a big tip out. Tip outs. How to do those tip outs, because I was into that at that point. And I added a bunch of images that I liked. And I wrote into this one. This one was actually a real journal. I collected quotes and sayings, and I wrote all kinds of stuff in the pages. Lots of tip-ins. And there's an extensive how I did this. Oh, Shannon Green's Oklahoma brochure that she had everyone going for. And you know what? You can still request travel magazines. They send them to you in the mail for free. Great source for images. Just to let you know, I'm all about the free stuff. So I won't go through the whole thing, but all the tip outs, tons and tons of fun things. So if you want to see that in great detail, go to the playlist. And the last one I have is a personal art journal. It's a personal junk journal. I don't know anybody that doesn't have a shoebox full of mementos in the back of their closet. And so I took my mementos, made this book, and added my mementos to it. It's not quite finished. I was looking at it and noticed that some of the images aren't glued in. And I also noticed that there was a bunch of stuff piled on top that needed to be added to this. And it probably needs to be its own video all by itself. So again, I'll probably do a recap on this one, because a lot of stuff has been added since I did the flip through. But this is a very personal junk journal. I like the pockets so much that I can add my little bits and pieces from school, or family mementos, tickets, photos. That's my cat. I'm not going to look at it because it'll make me cry. Mementos, and I did notice that I have a ton of stuff to add to it. Well, I can't close it. I can't close it. It's got too much stuff in it already. I'm going to have to make another one because I've got too much stuff. This tag from Crafting Mamas and Irina. Some of the stuff that she sent me when I was doing Happy Mail. I don't do Happy Mail anymore. I've got too much stuff and need to get rid of, use up some of the stuff I have. But I will go through this one again, because there's all kinds of ideas for things to include in a junk journal. Paper dolls. I love to make paper dolls. And so this is the beginning of, now that I have sparked my interest in junk journals once again. Oh, here's a handmade envelope with some family pictures in it. I've sparked my interest in the junk journals, and I have a pile of supplies that need to be used. And so I will be doing some junk journal videos this next week. Look at all this. This is just amazing. I mean, there's so much stuff in it, it doesn't even lie flat anymore. Way too much stuff. I'm going to have to thin things out. And then I had a whole bunch of other stuff that need to go in here that I just don't have room for. Yep, I'm going to have to make another one. The pages of this were made from things that I had saved that I loved. This was a piece of velvet paper paper with velvet, I think. Painted papers that I had done. Handmade papers that I really liked. Here's a calendar that I liked. Foreign book page. The optical illusion. Wallpaper and things that I could make the pages from. These were special pieces of paper that I set aside when I had enough to fill this cover. It's a big cover, probably 3 inches. I started putting the book together, and then I put in pockets and envelopes, and then I started filling the pockets and envelopes. When I did the last flip through, it wasn't quite so full. I've added all kinds of stuff, and I'm not sure why, because I don't remember. Anyway, I will do a flip through of just this one and a few of the other ones. I suggest, having a junk journal just to store your treasures in. That's what this is all about for me. A place to put my treasures so it's not in a box in the back of my closet where I've forgotten all about it. I have it on the shelf so I can look at it every once in a while and enjoy my little treasures. Anyway, junk journaling is a lot of fun. It's very addictive, and it is a good way to use up a lot of stuff. So I suggest it highly. I will come back with some flip throughs. Thanks for watching.